All right, shalom.
Shalom.
First and foremost, we'll give all praises to the Heavenly Father,
Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Hakwadash.
Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and the elders at Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations unto the elect. Hebrew Israelites. All right, Hebrew is a language, but it's also a legacy that goes back, all right, to the men who stood for righteousness, man. All right, the men of old, man. All right, and we're here to continue that legacy of the Hebrews. All right, and through Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, we became Israelites. All right, where ultimately the Lord, all right, chose us, all right, via making a covenant with us, man, at the time of Moses. Okay, and we're here to ultimately fulfill the promise that was fulfilled to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, that the remnant of Israel in the latter days would awaken. Okay, and ultimately be given inheritance rights back to the Holy Land under Yahweh Shai. Okay, so we come out here week in and week out to prophesy the downfall of Babylon the Great, which is America according to the Holy Scriptures. Okay, and the coming of a righteous kingdom, the throne of David, ran by who the world ignorantly calls Jesus Christ. A righteous government is coming into this earth. All right, and we get access to that through his blood, through the Holy Spirit. Okay, you're not delivered by your own righteousness, right? You're not delivered, all right, by anything else but being covered under the blood of Yahweh Shai, man, which was a gift given unto the elect from the foundation of the earth. Okay, so what we're doing through the Holy Spirit is powerful and it's impacting the earth, and it's not powerful because of us. As the scriptures say, we have this treasure in earthen vessels, that the excellency may be of the Most High, not of us, man. All right, so we just out here another week. You know, whatever brothers got, you know, let's get it.
Nobody else, I got something.
Yep.
Isaiah 42:9, it says, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And one of the main things is the Revelation 13:16
right.
debacle, which is not a debacle to us, because we have the vision to see that that's coming to pass.
Right.
All right? But a lot of these guys, they don't have that vision.
Right.
That is speaks of in what Habakkuk, the second chapter. Okay? They don't have that eye salve to where their spiritual eyes can see these things, man. That's why they go against it. That's why they wrestle with the scriptures. All right?
Earlier in that chapter where you was going into the eye salve, earlier in that chapter they talk about being lukewarm.
Oh, yep.
See? And we normally attribute that to Jake that's in the truth as far as Great Millstone. You know what I'm saying? If you lukewarm, the Lord gonna spew you out. But as Israel as a whole, you see, when Jake get into all these Ponzi schemes and business, when Jake is all about when they make the ministry of business, you lukewarm.
Oh, yeah.
So you don't have the eye salve to see what the prophecies he's talking about, because you're trying to fill your own belly.
Right, and we some of, you know, the old school, the apostles tell us about those things, and we've even tried certain things, but it don't work.
Right.
You come to the conclusion to just do the work.
That's it.
You try to get into a pyramid scheme. That shit only work for Ham. You got a bunch of Israelites trying to do some damn pyramid scheme.
You on Telegram.
You know what I'm saying? And you end up losing.
Yeah.
We tried those things, and only to come to and our apostles told us, when that shit don't work, don't come to us. And we tried the shit, and hey, but it was a learning experience. But you got to keep the truth. You got to be very delicate with this truth, man.
That's right.
We weren't given this truth to come up like that. Ultimately, the Lord has given us everything we needed through the Holy Spirit. Set up certain brothers and sisters to help us. We got jobs, you know, whatever. The Lord has given us our daily bread. That's a part. That should be a part of your everyday prayer, is that you keep your daily bread. All right, and we know ultimately a time is coming where this system is going to collapse, but the bread then is going to become spiritual.
Right.
See? And he's going to give each member of the elect, up until they go back to the spirit world or are beamed up, he's going to give them food. He's going to always make it a point to ultimately take care of them, man.
Service shall eat.
Provision is already set in the Holy Scriptures, man. Okay, you can go into the Scriptures and it's prophesied that he's not going to allow the members of the elect to starve or go without. But we just have to walk in that path, okay, and believe and have faith.
Yeah, any more? Yes, a little bit more. I'm going to just start over. Isaiah 42:9, behold, the former things have come to pass, and new things do I declare. Before they spring forth, I tell you of them. And that's what makes us through the Spirit, the prophets, giving all honor to Yahweh Bashim Yahushua, not to us, that we're able to speak on things before they actually happen. And that's the actual power when the Most High allows it to manifest as it was spoken.
That's right.
Okay?
That's right.
Yep.
I got some.
And the prophets are sure. When you read the new song, Revelation, the 14th chapter, it's a sure message.
More sure word.
And if Revelation 14 says if you take the charagma, that you're going to get destroyed, and that's the new song, which the men of the Lord are out there singing that song. Okay. What does it say? They're warning about if you take it. So wouldn't they know what it is?
Yeah,
Wouldn't they be identifying it?
Oh yeah.
You have all of these gray areas surrounding what the MOTB is, but it should be clear. See, the prophets, the true church of Yahweh Ba'al Shai aren't being tossed to and fro in these latter times.
Right.
See, there's a sure foundation amongst the true doctrine, man, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Ba'al Shai that the rest of these guys don't have. So here it is. We're looking at the prophecy, and they're doing videos to try to tell you you don't see what you see.
Right.
You don't see a microchip. So John the Revelator, riddle me this. John the Revelator wrote what we're living right now. He wrote about the NATO, the EU, the wars, the miracles, the technology, how they would try to make you bow to their image, but he ain't gonna write about the microchip. He didn't record that. He didn't look into this time right now and see that microchip.
Right.
And the microchip, when we get into it, is being presented as a savior.
Yep.
That's what it is. It's an idol that they're setting up as the new savior. And heathen have always tried to get their subjects, okay, to bow to their gods. Right? So what are you going to do? What do you think is getting ready to happen now? They talk about the MOTB is religion. Okay. Well, yeah, Esau does have a religion, but it's not centered around anything dealing with the righteousness of the scriptures. It's centered around science. It's centered around technology. It's centered around pseudoscience. It's centered around rebellion.
If I can add to your point, Elder, the Lord always made things 2 and 2. So if you have a righteous priesthood on the right hand side that the Heavenly Father established, all right, the Lord creates both good and evil. So there's a priesthood on the left hand side that's counteractive, that's counterintuitive against the righteous, man. Right. And at the end of the day, it's the Lord's microchip. He wrote it in the story, man. He's the one he's the one that's controlling the minds of these different rulers to set up this whole AI system anyway.
It gives you a play-by-play from it being presented to the kingdom.
Right.
You see, it talks about who's going to present it, how it's going to be presented, how it's going to work out for those that take it, how it works for those that don't. It talks about the deliverers being looking down from the upon the sea of glass. It talks about reigning with Yahweh Shai at the end of all that. It gives you the playbook.
It breaks it down, yeah.
So there's no need to wonder for those that can see it.
I got something for you real quick. Habakkuk 2 and 3, verse 2 and 3 in the NLT. It says, "Then the Lord said unto me, write my answer plainly on tablets, so that a runner can carry the correct message to others."
So that a runner can carry the correct message to others, insinuating that there's an incorrect message.
Right.
The scriptures talk about stumbling blocks and the understanding not given to everybody. See? So you seeing all these different versions of what the scriptures is talking about. That's why I say, just like the Lord set forth the apostles last. You see? Going into how back then they would actually put the so-called Christians, the Israelites, you see, up to fight bears and lions and all that to cap off the show.
Right.
But spiritually now, you know what I'm saying, it's the prophets bringing forth this correct doctrine. You see, this is the last doctrine that's going to squash everything. Everything, all these other philosophies is about people wondering about what the Lord is actually talking about.
Right.
The prophets are here to break it down.
None of these idols are speaking, but here it is. We should be able to explain everything happening in the earth according to our power.
Right.
But then when it comes to the microchip, why is that? Why do we got to talk about it?
Right.
It ain't that.
Big gray area.
It's a big gray area. So what are your congregation going to do when they're faced with that C-hip? What are they going to do? They're going to fold.
Right.
They're going to fold to the jizzy jab.
Yep.
Already
Because
showed
what
that.
this devil is getting ready to come with next is going to force you to bow to his image. And those who don't bow to his image, he's going to pass laws and legislation to take you off, kick you out of his cart you off, or take you back to the spirit world.
Yep.
Yes, so he does have a religion. They always talk about Esau's philosophy. Okay, is the MOTB is a philosophy. Well, what is this nigga's philosophy?
Right.
What is he saying he wants to do with the people on here on the planet Earth, man?
Right. We're like, hello.
That's his religion. Your religion, at the end of the day, is what you do. What is he doing? Why is he so? Why when Trump got in office was he surrounded by transhumanists and people who are of the opinion that human beings need to be surveilled under the skin?
Right.
The water. Why is that? Why everywhere you look? Why is Planeteer now surveilling you and you never voted for it?
Right. Right. Like this nigga's clearly doing this shit. Like, and he wasn't doing, like, he didn't have all the people in his office last time.
Right.
Last time he didn't have all those
He
people.
didn't have all of those people. And he was condemning the war in Iran.
Yeah.
He was condemning the war in Iraq.
We need to take down the deep state. And then here it is. As soon as he gets reelected, this nigga at the WEF.
Yeah, this nigga deep state.
He wasn't even there.
He deep stated up.
You know what I'm saying? He over here, he was pretty much running the shots. Like Klaus Schwab popped on the scene and Trump came up and said, this is what we gonna do. Like, this nigga was a forerunner of that shit, man. None of these Elon Musk, Alice Karp, all these high technocrat billionaires, you didn't elect them.
You didn't elect him.
You didn't elect them.
Yep.
So all you Americans, you red-blooded, make America great-ass Americans, and you dumbass niggas that trust in the system, you went for a double whammy, man.
Y'all gonna lose.
You know?
It's only so long that anybody's gonna be able to defend this guy. Trump he's leading your ass to the agenda of the elite.
That's it. That's right.
Okay, America has been bought and paid for by the elite. And they're done with this shit. They're done with the American system. It does not fit the model of the ruling class. So having liberties, having freedom, America is built upon that. America was built upon what, man? Uprooting from other oppression.
Right. Yep.
That's what America was founded on. Somebody's oppressing me.
British
I'm gonna
tyranny.
fight my way out.
Yeah.
That's what America was. Freedom.
Right.
You fought to be free. This America was supposed to represent freedom. It was supposed to be the beacon of liberty. But through your politicians being bought and paid for by a lot of these lobbyist groups, and ultimately by the left-hand priesthood, because that's what's being set up right before your eyes. Who's on the news in the time of trouble? Technocrats, scientists. God, but somehow, this is not medical information, somehow they're science guys or computer guys, but then they pop up in the health.
Yes.
Experts in
Being
health.
becoming a philanthropist all of a sudden. Now he's a philanthropist.
So what is that telling you?
Yeah.
That's telling you
Computer
what
science
they're
or health
doing.
care
They're trying to
experts.
merge man with machine.
Yep.
That's a part of their plan. That's the true evolution, to evolve to a God. That's what he's trying to do on the planet Earth, man.
Yep.
And you the monkey that he's trying to evolve past. And get your blessing.
That's what the whole shot statement is about.
Yep.
It's about crossing out the Messiah and replacing them with medicine and technology. And if you agree with that, then this is how you show that you agree, by a physical situation.
Right.
Right.
Because Rome tattooed, all right, somebody looked that up. Did Rome tattoo their prisoners or slaves? Because this is, again, we talk about that which is then. Okay, the Greeks and the Romans were known for branding and tattooing them, people, their subjects. Egypt as well. So the talking point of having to have a stamp or a brand in order to function or be registered in that rulership system is nothing new. All right, but what they intended to do with the brand was own you. But now they can really do it through this technology.
Yep.
Now I can have a patent on your soul, right?
Yep. It's like Esau's trademark or his logo, pretty much.
Right, you become created in his image. That's what so yeah, okay, he has a religion. The MOTB is a religion, a philosophy. Well, what is the philosophy?
Oh.
What's the plan? Where we at?
I had that about Rome tattooing.
Yep, go ahead.
All right, I typed it in the chat GPT. It says that Rome tattooed their prisoners and slaves. It says yes, ancient Rome did tattoo both prisoners and slaves, particularly during certain periods of the empire. I'm gonna jump down to some points here. Slaves were often tattooed or branded to mark ownership and prevent escape.
So we talk about the image of, somebody get that in Revelation, the image of the beast. Should both speak and, read that real quick.
Right. This is Revelation. Go to it real quick here. We're supposed to speak. All right. This is Revelation chapter 13. And my phone is slow slot.
Somebody else?
Like 15. Yeah, I'll get it.
Go ahead.
This is Revelation
Been
13
3 minutes.
and 14. It's so like, let me find a good place to start.
No.
13 and 13.
Miracles. Start 14.
14, okay. Revelation 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth.
If you think before.
Yeah, because it kind of brings it in.
Okay.
Revelation 13 and 13, it says, and he doeth great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men.
Right, and no one had ever seen what NATO was able to do. Okay, just bombing. It was like, this is God.
Kosovo and Bosnia, yep.
See what I'm saying? Eventually, Nagasaki and Hiroshima,
Yeah.
where goddamn shadows are burnt into the ground.
Yeah.
It was so hot, the shadow was burnt to the goddamn ground.
Bro.
He did that in the sight of men.
Man, them babies still coming out feeling the effects of it.
Right, and that's
To this day.
Yep, that's really the strength of the dollar is the sword. The strength of the dollar is ultimately the sword, because when you try to get outside of that dollar, people know he for the.
That's how
It's
they-
historically,
Yeah.
it's nothing you can do. You'll just have a plane crash. You'll disappear. Any governor or government that tries to do the right thing, Esau is going to eventually corrupt it. That's just what he does. He sends economic hitmen throughout the fork just to uproot. That he's just an unruly child.
Stabilizing governance, and setting up puppet leaders.
Setting up puppet leaders to so that we can get where we at now. This is why right now all of these nations are leading going into the MOTB system. All of the why? Because ultimately all of the leaders are truly bought and paid for by the elites.
Yep.
Okay, they fund, they're just wicked.
Yeah.
There's really no other way to describe these people, man.
That's how they would truly fulfill the NWO.
Right.
Too. If they can get that in its perfection done.
Right.
You know?
Right. Buying out governments, all right, buying out school systems so that he's able to implement his wine in there, man.
Yep. You got people there's this guy that was he's pretty much part of the whole U.S. cabinet, and he had his voice all blacked out and the blacked out face, whatever. And he said that pretty much the world is our stage.
Yeah.
You know, and we're the directors of it. And this was a small hat saying this, man. See, so everything that we see has been manipulated by lies, and he has the technology to manipulate. He has the news to manipulate. You know, he has the laws that he passes to manipulate war. You know, religion, school, history. He manipulates everything, man. And it's very, very vast and deep that people it's on a deep level, man. You know, what you guys think?
Yeah, I'm gonna continue on. Revelation 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles.
Right. He's brought you over to his will by the means of miracles, technology. He has your mind while he ultimately hijacks reality in the earth. Okay. He keeps you in a position of absolute chaos. Your whole life is just flooded with toxic madness. Okay? He's using his miracles to ultimately distract the people into bringing them into a system as well. Okay? Read that again.
Revelation 13 and 14, it says, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast.
So he's deceived the people through his miracles, man. And it's getting even deeper now with AI. This shit is like really a left-handed superpower.
Even that chat GPT at a small level, it's a miracle. Brothers get all types of information, obviously.
Yep.
Things can be used for good and bad.
Yep.
But that just shows on a small level, man.
Right. As well as because the time is moving so fast that the Lord just gives us access to be able to extract information faster.
Right.
So we use it ultimately for a righteous purpose.
Right.
Showing you that the Most High is in control the whole time. And it's condemning Esau.
Yeah.
Right.
His own tongue is falling on himself through artificial idumia. AI. See? We absolutely win. The Lord is always going to make it to where we have a means to win, even within the hell, man. So we've used ChatGPT as a third witness.
It's speaking expressly in the spirit.
That's right.
But continuing on, Revelation.
We even have to check it to tell them that it's going off.
Yeah.
Nah, then they'll acknowledge like, okay,
Yeah. You're like, you know what? That's a good
damn,
point.
that's a good
Trying to
point.
throw them little ooh-wops out there.
But these are miracles.
Yeah.
That's a miracle.
It is.
Yeah.
You would have to study weeks in the library to get some of the information that you can get like in seconds.
Well,
Right.
you don't gotta read no Wikipedia. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Wikipedia or going to a library and physically getting different books, you know?
It just summarizes it. Like you want to look, it'll summarize it up and boom.
Right, when times were slower in ancient times, even in the 80s, 90s, when the apostles
Get an
woke up,
abridgment, like right away.
time was slower.
Yeah.
So they had to literally go to the information we looking up and the stuff we know. Our apostles had to go to the library
Hell yeah. Check out the
and
books.
check the book out, read the book, look through it, find the point, get concordances, go into the Hebrew.
Take notes.
You didn't have no blue letter Bible in that time.
Nope.
So it was actually a labor, but because times are speeding up, the Lord is giving us the means to extract information because knowledge is increasing.
Oh yeah, right. That's ultimately what it is.
And it's on the right hand and on the left hand.
Yeah.
The Lord is starting to open more things up to us in righteousness, but Esau is bringing forth his technology on the left hand side. He's throwing just like the wise men of Pharaoh.
Yep.
They doing their enchantments, man.
Yep.
And a lot of people are flabbergasted by it. A lot of people are being drawn into the NWO. Some of them think they support Trump. Some of them want Biden and Kamala to be, But ultimately, everybody's lost. Okay, they're wandering after the beast. Okay? And this beast system is what? Ran by Esau Edom. Go ahead.
Revelation 13 and 14, and deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast.
Right. Basically be conformed to his image. And he's doing that through the idols you follow. Okay, this Greco-Roman way of life, which is antagonistic against the truth. It serves idols, right? It's built in a way that it's godless. The whole humanist ideology that goes back to the Greco-Roman Empire. The people are engulfed in that until this very day. All right, this nigga tripping, bro.
Tweaking.
Come on, man. I got black fatigue.
Yeah, they gotta go.
I got black fatigue, man.
Listening to that drill music.
I'm so
man.
goddamn tired of black people, man.
They have to go.
It's like, come on, bro.
And he just sits right across and screaming.
Never know what niggas
Sitting on the hill.
Just never know what type of substances these niggas is
Bro, I'm
on.
gonna go rent a police costume,
Arresting
choke that nigga to death.
Billy Club his ass.
George Floyd.
Yeah, they gonna record it.
Put that nigga in the rear neck.
He's stepping on this nigga neck.
Oh man. Go ahead.
Continued on the last part of Revelation
So
13
John,
and 14.
John the Revelator is describing this very system we live in.
Yep.
And it's headed by Babylon the Great, but who established Babylon the Great? The British.
Right.
That's where ultimately the elite rule out of, man. Okay, the three frogs, the Washington D.C., okay, the Vatican,
Yep.
and London.
Yep.
See that?
DC, Rome, and London. Yep.
Okay, which ultimately it's a part of the aspect of the three frogs. Okay, the three unclean beasts. But this is how they have control. Okay, that sword is powerful, and when you look at the U.S. military, it's not a joke. It's not a game.
Yeah, man.
Not at all. Yeah.
It's not a game, and it's getting ready to go down.
They got all kind of shit.
So people are flabbergasted by this beast system. People are wondering after it. A lot of people can never, knowing the dominance of Babylon, a lot of these people are like, this place will never fall.
Yep.
They're really leaning on that, but it's clear something's going on. This place is about to fall.
They're so dominated by the philosophies and ideologies of this place that they think that everything is still normal.
Yeah.
They still, I mean, they know in their spirit that something's wrong, but they still think that it can bounce back and get better.
Yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And it's not. No, like, I mean, the prophet, I got to hell, but the prophet, it's not going to get better.
What they believe can't keep up with what they seeing.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They believe it's gonna get better, but it ain't no signs of it.
Exactly.
You know?
That's right.
And that's a hard place to be in, because what's that in Luke 21 and 25? They talk about the perplexity of the people in distress.
Right. Yeah.
You know, and looking at those definitions, it don't go into nothing about them being comfortable. You know, it's being forced to do something. You know, being forced to do something against your own will, bro. It's finna go from being able to say whatever you want and do whatever you want to not being able to do nothing, like in a snap. People ain't gonna be able to adjust to that. You know what I'm saying? And their reaction is gonna cause them to get hit upside the head.
Yep, and it's becoming harder to live on Earth. It's becoming harder to live the American dream and then live a happy life. You're miserable living there trying to live the American dream.
Everything is a delay and expensive. An expensive delay is all you get.
That's the dream.
And you can get locked up at any minute. Yeah, you gotta spit out your bread and tiptoe.
But the thing about America is the Lord did allow a lot of freedom here. Okay, there was this essence of people were able to do what they want. Okay, and ultimately people look at the American culture, and that's the problem. It's no order. People have been able to do and say, you can't shame wicked and evil people. So what does that lead to? Decay. Moral decay is what we're witnessing, because there is no righteous moral code or law in the earth. And that's what this beast system would come with. They would come with pseudo science. It's a pseudo God.
Yep.
That's what the MOTB is. They're telling you they're going to heal all of the issues that they've brought about, okay, including identity theft, including, now you see a lot of children coming up missing. This is the perfect time to bring about a system where you can track them.
Yep. National Missing Children's Day. So you in America and you got a day that's dedicated to missing children. That lets you know how jacked up of a society we live in right now, and that the wicked are rule.
Ain't no day dedicated to finding them.
Yeah. National Missing Children's Day.
Right.
Them niggas just
But they got planetary. So they should be able to find anything, right?
right.
Man.
But they can never find them children. Every year.
Yeah.
Niggas will find your ass if you own a credit card bill.
Yeah.
Them niggas will find, they'll call you. You know, they calling your phone. How the hell these niggas get my number?
You got them student loan out there. They gonna find your ass.
Esau is the ultimate hoe ass nigga.
Man.
Go ahead.
Old ass collection. Yup. Revelation 13 and 14, the last
See,
part.
do as thou wilt.
Yup.
People just can do what they want to do. You can't do that in Dubai.
Hell no.
Man.
You cannot do that in Dubai. Why? Because they established order.
That ain't gonna work.
Your child can walk outside at 5 in the morning and be safe in Dubai. Crime is no car break-ins. You can leave your car unlocked, your door unlocked. Why is that? Because they don't allow niggas to be niggas.
I heard they don't even allow like a man and a woman doing like public display of affection.
Nope.
Like can't be kissing.
Kissing
and
in
hugging.
public.
Nah, your ass get locked up for that.
You got people kissing in the gym, 2 pin. in the gym filming themselves, holding each other.
Walking in the woman, a grown ass man walking in the women's locker room or walking into a girl's bathroom. It's all kinds of just madness.
Madness, because he identifies as a woman.
Right.
I identify as a Rothschild. Give me the shekels.
Right.
I identify as high as I can probably identify.
Right.
Yeah, I'm going to the top.
Right. I identify as a 99 on Madden. I ain't that motherfucker.
Right.
You ain't gonna catch me on Madden.
Catch me.
Yeah, I'm shooting for the sky, niggas.
Yep.
All right, I'm gonna go back. I'll just read it again. Revelation 13 and 14. It says, "And deceiveth them that dwell on the earth by the means of those miracles which he had power to do in the sight of the beast, saying to them that dwell on the earth that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by a sword and did live."
And that's Rome. Okay, the ancient Roman Empire had a wound by a sword. And how did it live? It lived through the Renaissance.
Right.
So we're reading here in ChatGPT, go back to that, how ultimately they would bring about the same type of system as Rome. So was not this an aspect of Rome? If we want to look at the MOTB for what it could be today, based upon the scriptures, they're acting as if we're just so bugged out for linking it with the micro CL.
Right.
It's like, bro, what is wrong with you? And they've been cornered. A lot of these guys are being cornered. The reason Chief Ephraim did the video is because most likely he's getting questioned. The reason IUIC does their videos on it is because they're constantly receiving emails. Because there are certain people not doubting what they're seeing.
Right.
There's certain window shoppers who are listening, and they go back and they'll create a fake email so they don't know it's them and ask you certain questions.
They'll track your IP address.
Hell yeah.
So they'll set up one of their members to now start teaching like that.
Yeah.
Now you got a guy in IUIC talk about the digital ID, the beast system. It's like all of a sudden, because they're trying to put themselves in position to say that we always said it. We warned y'all about this.
Man, that shit's not right, man.
That's wicked. But at the same, you're gonna say the jab was a predecessor to the MOTB, but then the MOTB is a philosophy.
Right.
Well, the jab was a part of a philosophy that through these jabs, I'm gonna heal you.
But in the beginning, they said that it was cool to take it though.
Yeah.
They kind of say, I wouldn't do it, but if your job record, do it, you can do it still.
Yep.
So if that's the case, is it cool to still take the chip?
Well, now it'll kill your ass.
Right.
Now they gonna tell you it'll kill you. But back then it was if you got to.
Yeah.
That's bad leadership.
Now look at Chief Ephraim, not Chief Ephraim talking about, well, it's common damn sense not to put it in you like that, because the law says it ain't common damn sense, bro. You know Jake don't know that.
That's why we gotta keep bringing it up.
Yeah.
Right. But
it's not common sense.
But like, they all in the spirit of saying that they've been saying it.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Yeah. But the thing is, he said, it's common sense to not to take a microchip. I'm trying to get my brothers and sisters off the needle. Well, shouldn't it be common sense not to take a needle?
Right.
Exactly.
Come on, fam.
Okay, we can make that same argument. That big dumbass dope fiend should have sense enough to stop smoking crack.
He done ran out of spots
or putting
on
a
his
needle.
arm to put the damn needle. You gotta shoot
Leviticus
the dope with his toe.
19:27.
It ain't your job to get niggas off the needle.
The scripture says that you're gonna have to rebuke and reprove, man. So that's your job. So we don't gotta tell you and talk about no getting cut in the flesh. It's common sense.
Well, what breakdown have anyone got from Chief Ephraim?
Right. Where the hell he been?
He pop up here and there, teaching loud, and he's when you hear him, he's like a zealot. He's like he got that war general spirit, but it's just out of season. You ain't scaring the so-called white man, and ultimately, we're in a time of the prophecies coming to pass. All of that cult of personality and this and that, and I'm chief this and that. Hey, the Lord ain't dealing with that shit, man. The prophecies are coming to pass. Who gives a fuck? Acting like a wrestler. Okay, nigga, Macho Man, you would never touch Macho Man. You will never get to that level, so stop trying to be intimidating and bad. That shit played out.
Yeah, bad to the bone Israelites.
And you got brothers rough around the edges, but some of these guys force it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they putting on a persona, man.
To hide the reality of that you ain't talking about shit.
Right.
You ain't talking about nothing. You hear these guys out, and it's just really a bunch of nothing.
Right.
But they know how to make it sound good, man.
Right.
And IUIC is making Israel look bad.
Kind of sound like the church. He be in there
Yeah.
every day. And all
Yeah.
that other shit. He be like, yeah, he knows something.
Yeah.
But then he go out, eat big feet.
Weird.
Do all kind of bullshit.
All of that pestering people as they walk by, that's not in the spirit, man.
Like showman.
That's a old, you know, that's an old way of teaching. Don't get it twisted. That is kind of like the roots, how Jake used to teach on the highways. They would be engaging with people, but Jake is out there just being pest. The black woman walked by, you screaming at her, telling her the Lord go kill her because she got on pants. You in front of the church talking about the book of Deuteronomy. Church people don't want to hear about no Deuteronomy.
Yeah.
And you ain't got one of them niggas to convert.
Right.
Why? Because you're not teaching the true image of Yahweh Shah. You're teaching perfection by the law. So therefore your ministry is waning.
Yeah, they doing it in the name of Jesus Christ.
And they're being used by the left hand to stir up things and be involved in uprisings and mischief on the street. That's what's happening with these camps, man.
I got a precept. 1 Corinthians 2:4. And my speech and my preaching was not with enticing words of man's wisdom, but in demonstration of the Spirit and of power.
Right.
That your faith should not stand in the wisdom of men, but in the power of the Most High. You see, because at the end of the day, Yahweh Basham Shah is speaking plainly through his men, whether you can receive it or not. We don't got to come out here with all the theatrics and, you know, how you said, the root busters, you know, these whole, you know what I mean? You know, we're not, the Lord didn't set us up for that, man.
Right.
The Lord set us up to speak the truth plainly, to speak it correctly and directly, man. Whether you get it or not, it's not up for you. It's not up for us, man. And the message is plain, man. You know, ain't no beating around the bush. No, we letting you know what it is, man. It ain't no theatrics about it. Now the Lord did say we will be a spectacle.
Right.
You know, we're going to be a spectacle amongst men. You see, but you don't got to forcefully make yourself a spectacle, man.
Right.
That's what Jake doing.
You know?
It's wasting energy, man.
Wasted energy.
Yep.
Get setting up these marches. But you got to get permission from the state to do that. Why go through all of that?
Right.
Well, when you're a part of the 501c3, you have to do those things.
Yep.
The people who are giving you grant money, they want to make sure that you're using your organization to make a change in the community. And they use that shit, and it plays on the emotions of the simple. The simple are like, these men are getting things done. Y'all just talking.
Right.
They marching.
Right.
But they gotta show receipts too.
They standing in lines.
They talking about family. Which family, don't get it twisted, family is a beautiful thing. Marriage is a beautiful thing. But there's a time and place for everything. And you ain't gonna have no true marriage. As a servant and a slave and a subject, you don't have a true marriage.
Right.
That's just the reality of it. And if you don't understand that and what it really means, yeah, technically y'all linked, and if the Lord saves you through her and y'all, you know, but technically, according to how the Lord intended it to be, you ain't no man. You ain't living the life of a man. Okay, you running around as a mouse trying to not get trapped in the cheese trap. Nibbling a little off and running.
Yeah,
That's the life you live in America as a man.
Like the late great Neely Fuller, we're prisoners of war.
Prisoners of war.
You and your woman, man.
Through, yeah. And that's prophecy though. So we have to take everything here. You can't put too much stake in it. And you damn sure can't try to center the doctrine around this is what Jesus wanted for us. And then forward your belly, linking Jake to the beast system, man. Jake got to change their last name to Ben Israel.
Oh yeah.
Jake got to get married through the system.
Yep. Yeah.
Which these institutions have been used to oppress Jake. Marriage,
Right.
in a wicked sense,
Oh yeah.
in the left hand sense, and certain brothers are married to their women. That's your business, but overall, we know.
Yeah, you making a contract with the state.
It's a snare in the net right there.
The state don't got nothing to do with your marriage, man.
Right.
That's between you, your woman, and the Most High.
Right. The agreement that was wrote up in the contract was between the two families.
Right.
Because the father is gonna what? He's gonna he's gonna try to pitch for his daughter. That's his daughter. So he's gonna negotiate, okay, what happens if you die? What inheritance can we be tied to by you marrying and my daughter? That's gonna be written in that's the contract. It wasn't no goddamn marriage certificate. And some big freaky ass nigga standing in between y'all as a full Baal worshiper asking you, do you promise to
Sickness and in health.
Even if she's sick.
Right. And you don't have the power you don't know what the hell's gonna happen tomorrow.
Right.
But you gonna sit up and lie, look this nigga in the eye and
Making
promise
a
you
vow. Those are like
to death, nigga, I'm gonna be here. And 2 weeks later they get a divorce.
Can't make that
This nigga Boosie marrying your ass.
Yeah.
Boosie marrying your
I
ass.
ain't happy.
MF do marry somebody off.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Bugged out. This world is bugged out, man. So we got to look at everything with a grain of salt here. All right, this ain't this place ain't the end all be all. And the Western way of life is not the end all be all. It's not life at all. So the image of the beast has been used to draw people in to worshiping this man, and it plays upon your lust. You got something?
I had that. That's still in that chat.
Yeah, read that.
All right, so it says tattooing of prisoners and soldiers. Criminals and prisoners could also be tattooed as a form of punishment or identification.
Identification, and this is in the ancient Roman Empire. So if we live in Rome all over again, that's what the Renaissance did. It brought back all of the classics, the Greco-Roman thought. That's what rules the world today. That's why your medical system is a serpent on the pole, because that goes back, all right, to a god of that system. So you're literally looking at Rome. It's all around you. It's in ways that you overlook. On the back of your dollar, you got Latin. Latin was what the Romans spoke. Why do you have Latin on the back of your dollar?
All the medical terms in Latin.
In America.
All the legal terms on the contract in Latin.
Roman numerals.
Roman numerals. You got the Senate, Roman architecture,
So wouldn't this present itself, this system, this will present itself.
Yeah.
Because we're in Rome all over. Read it. Go ahead, bro.
Yep. It says the Latin term stigma, from Greek stezen to prick, refers to these tattoos which are seen as marks of disgrace.
Now, look up stigma. Okay, the word stigma is describing what they would do to prisoners in Rome. So we're going to look up the word stigma in the Greek.
Right.
And we're going to show you that because somebody got to get that which is that is now.
Okay. I got the scripture with the stigma.
Yep.
All right. I'll read the verse here, then I'll get the word. And this is Galatians 6:17. From henceforth let no man trouble me, for I bear in my body the marks of the Lord Yahweh Shai.
And this is Apostle Paul speaking of the marks he bore. He used to get beat. He used to get, he got stoned, beaten with rods, but that was for the sake of Yahweh Shai. His skin was actually pierced. Okay?
Battle wounds, pretty much.
And it was a token that he accepted as a oath to his God.
Right. Yep.
Those marks show that I really believe.
It was his allegiance.
This is his allegiance.
Yep.
That's what that's talking about. These marks are a sign of my allegiance to Yahweh Bashim Yahshua. I'm serious.
Yeah.
But the word mark, go ahead.
All right, that word marks in the Greek is stigma, right? And it's from a primary stezo, which means to stick or to prick.
Boom.
And then the outline of biblical usage says a mark pricked in or branded upon the body. To ancient Oriental usage, slaves and soldiers bore the name or the stamp of their master or commander branded or pricked, in parentheses cut, into their bodies to indicate what master or general they belong to.
So how would this play out today? Okay, they did the brand back then. Okay, so if we were looking at today's world, what is something that could mimic this? How could they use this? You could probably even ask Chat GPT. How would the branding system in the tattoo system that the Greeks and the Romans follow, how would that play out today? I guarantee you it's going to say the microchip.
Technocratic system.
So the question is, why are these Israelite camps so reluctant, and why are they trying so hard to separate what you see, what we see, from what John saw?
Because the infrastructure is already there. It's already set up. All they need to do is bring forth the perfect situation, the chaotic situation that they're going to bring to implement this Quran. That's all that they need to do. It's demonic out here, man.
We got to get out of here, man.
Niggas just blowing horns, like, and there's nobody, like,
Right.
Anyway. But they already have the system. They have the Palantir, Operation Stargate, all these different things. It's already set up. You know, Hegelian dialectic. It's a pressure from above, pressure from below. This whole situation going on between Iran and Israel, which is prophecy.
Right.
You see, but that's all being waged through the minds of the elite to bring forth what? A new world that they think they're gonna be able to rise up out the ashes from, but they ain't gonna be able to do. You know, yeah, the point.
They can hit you with, if you want to get access to any government funding or any government programs you need to get marked, man, it'll be a line big as Dallas out there.
Yeah.
Of course.
Getting those funds.
Bro, all you gotta do is look at government assistance.
That's it. Game over.
That's all you gotta look
Game
at.
over. They not giving up that government system.
Just to get a damn school on
That's not
a Pell Grant, or
right.
they're gonna be right with it.
Yep. Go ahead.
It says, oh, I'm sorry, my bad. No, bro.
Ecclesiastes 3:15. That you.
Yep,
I got the one you claim. Okay. I got the one at 1 though. So
You get it.
go ahead.
This is Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be has already been. And the Most High require that which is past.
Right. And there's another one, right?
Yeah.
Go
I
ahead.
got it. This is Ecclesiastes 1:9. It says, "The thing that had been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun."
So if there is no new thing under the sun, we should be able to show you how this micro C-hip that we constantly talk about links with something that happened in the past.
Yep.
And we're showing you. Okay, and slavery, okay, like the movie Antebellum, when you got caught, they branded your ass to show ownership. In the law, the piercing of the ear with an awl, which you see cows and cattle walking around with an awl in their ear. What is that? Ownership,
Yep.
servitude.
Yep.
This stock of cattle belongs to Mike. And the elite want to do that with you.
Yep.
This was the whole plan. Okay? This is what they want. This is it. So he's recreating man in his image.
Yep.
Go ahead.
Just finish it.
There was
I'm
a
sorry,
little bit
my
more
bad.
Salaki. Ecclesiastes 1:10, it says, "Is there anything whereof it make..."
Exactly what it said.
Okay. Oh, you looked it up. That's the spirit. That's the spirit.
Ecclesiastes 1:10, it says, "Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new?"
So the mark of the beast is new, but the concept is an old ancient concept.
Right.
It's something that kingdoms would do to set up a registration and mark their subjects, and ultimately this mean that you're subject to me. You were acknowledging it.
That concept, it just evolved.
It's just like the progression of weapons.
Right.
In Isaiah 9, where it talks about how it went from confused noise to being fought with fire.
Right.
You see? So back then it went from branding to now it's technology.
It's C-hip.
You see? It's technology based.
Right.
So it's a progression of all. I would say it's a progression from generation to generation of that knowledge and that and that what's the word I'm looking for? That skill. You see, the skill is increased.
Right. They're artificers.
Right.
They create artificers were the one who hewed out the idols. Okay, but this artificer has now created, all right, a device centered around tracking you from inside of you, getting inside of the temple, operating as God. Okay, now you want to read that?
Okay. So I put into Gronk. My first prompt was
See how it says Gronk,
Gronk,
like
you
it's
know.
just so better. Gronk is bougie.
Yeah,
I ain't fucking
Gronk,
with
right? I said, did the Greeks and Romans tattoo their slaves? They said yes. Both the Greeks and Romans practiced tattooing slaves. And then it just goes into the history that you already went into. Then I said, how would that system be used in modern times? It says below are some ways this historical practice could be conceptually translated into modern systems. It says, one, identification
You
and
good, man?
tracking
You good? You
systems.
good? You sure? Yeah, you good.
Yeah. It says identification and tracking systems. Historical parallel. In ancient Greece and Rome, tattoos were used to mark slaves for identification, particularly to signal ownership or to deter escape. Modern equivalent. Instead of physical tattoos, modern systems might use digital or biometric markers for identification and tracking. Examples include RFID chips or wearables.
Right. So basically, it's saying if Rome ruled right now,
Yeah.
they'd be doing that shit.
Yep. Yep. It says governments or institutions could theoretically use implantable microchips or wearable devices to track individuals in specific contexts, right? Biometric databases, facial recognition, fingerprints, or iris scans could serve as modern marks.
Right.
Digital branding. In extreme authoritarian regimes, digital identifiers like social credit
And all of
scores-
these systems,
Mhm.
all of these nations are leaning towards cashless, digital. All of them. It's being set up all around the world while they disagree. Chief Ephraim, while they disagree,
Yeah.
all of them are being integrated into this cashless biometric system of identifying people.
And identifying people, basic transactions. You know, who you think is leading the world right now in digital systems? It's China, it's Russia, it's the East. That's why you had Trump come in and say we need to catch up. His whole deal with having $100 billion thing for AI and crypto and all those type of systems was to catch up to the digital system that's happening over in China. There's a race for who controls and has power over data. There's a space race going on to say who can control the skies, you know? They're constantly launching new satellites. For what? For digital computation and quantum computing. Okay?
Didn't America start its space-based program based upon Russia starting one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you know, he's like, China's not doing what America said. Yes, they are. In every way, they have modeled the American economy and taken what the American economy has done and duplicated and gone forth, man. How do you think China got so rich? They got rich off of the trade deals and everything that they've been doing. That's how. All right? All these nations, all right? It's a global economy and they're all involved. All right?
But it's really
You
it's
can find her
the
down
elites
at
that really the elites are the one that sit at the forefront of it, and even they don't agree. All of the elites don't agree, but they agree on one thing.
Yeah.
They've consulted together with one consent.
Yeah.
Control your black ass.
Yeah. And so when it comes to how the money is being moved around, they agree. Okay? They're going to agree. That's why they all take their ass over up to Davos and figure it out together.
Right.
Now, and the same banking families run China, run, and it's the same bank families that run the U.S. and Europe. All the same people, man. If China was so against America, why is Apple Computers over there? Why is Nike over there? Why is all the major American corporations working with China to produce goods and services? They work together.
Just had the Bilderberg meetings get wrapped up.
Yeah, we buy Russian oil.
Confederate.
We buy Russian oil and natural gas. We buy Russian vodka. It's not like fuck that vodka. No.
That's why them sanctions actually hurt American citizens.
Yeah.
That Biden put on Russia. Russia didn't give a damn.
Fuck Russia.
Psalm 64:2. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity.
These are the people that actually run the world, not the people you see on TV.
Right.
You might see the CEO of BlackRock get up there and talk. He ain't running it.
He ain't running. He's small.
He's small.
He's small. Middle management.
Elon Musk is small.
Right?
Elon is small.
Yeah, Elon is he's being contracted out.
Right.
All right. So these guys that you don't see who are running things actually make things go. Okay. So now all they need is a reason. So a regional conflict, World War III. I was talking to Warrior Howard about this, man. And then there was an old clip that was on an anonymous official page that came out that basically talked about how if you have a regional conflict break out, the global economy collapses. What do you think they're going to pitch as the solution to bring the world back together? They're gonna come in with a new digital system that the whole world needs to come together and accept. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 3, Psalm 64:3, who whet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words.
Even bitter words. This is their doctrine,
It's bitter.
their legislation, their laws, rules. All right? Their decrees. Okay? Their propaganda and media machines that twist everything.
It's real wicked.
Mm-hmm.
It's real. The scripture said the serpent was more subtle than any of the beasts of the field. So the way he brings shit out, it's just crazy, man.
Yeah.
It really captivates. It keeps you going. If you don't have the spirit on you, America will drive you crazy. You'll be engulfed in madness.
Yep. Yep. It's filled with idol worship and confusion. All right? And they incorporating everything subtly. Okay? Go ahead, champ.
Verse 4, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not.
Who's the perfect? The perfect is those who are under the obedience of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua. Those who are glorifying Yahweh Bashim Yahushua out in the earth. All right? Because ultimately that's who they want to take out. It's about creating an artificial blessing for themselves and taking you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans that believe in this thing, taking y'all out of the way of the promise.
Taking Yahweh Shai out of the way.
That's right, taking Yahweh Shai out of the way, man. All right? These Edomites agree on that. These heathen agree on that.
Because at the end of the day, this message that's being spoken, this message is completely against what they got going on, man. We're letting them know to their face that their New World Order system is not going to be established. You know what I'm saying? It's not. Well, I'd rather say it's not going to be fulfilled, because they're going to get some of it down.
Right.
You know, but we're letting them know that Yahweh Shah is going to come and dismantle the whole thing.
He's going to reign.
and that they're going to get thrown into slavery.
Yep. So these these nations can operate economically in together, but openly, geopolitically argue and fight.
Right.
That's always happened. That's been always in history. Okay? Go ahead.
Verse 5, they encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily.
Yeah, they say we're going to do this, then we're going to do that. This is going to cause this, and this is how we're going to... And they think about it, man. Now they actually have AI algorithms that can project out what will happen in society if this, and this happen. You know? They literally prophesy unto themselves.
Right.
Right? Now, in big ass Fortune 500 companies, you actually have a person that's what's called like a risk management, a risk assessor. You knew somebody that did that? So they look at whatever the company is doing and they say, hey, you know, if we're gonna manufacture these cars, it's likely that 3% of our cars is gonna kill people. So we need to basically have this much insurance set in place for this 3% of punitive damages that might be coming to the corporation. And they be accurate, man. They get paid some millions of dollars.
Call them actuaries at my
Actuaries.
So the heathen used to do that with the stars,
Boom.
with birds,
Yes.
certain angles that birds fly in, and
Yeah.
you know enchantments. Inauguration, it goes into that.
Yep.
Them using the stars and birds flying to justify to basically know if they're going to win, if they're going to have a good season or not.
Yep.
So now they've been able to bring that to this time.
That's what the Chaldeans were doing with the, you know, they were saying, yeah, you know, this, and this, and this, according to what we see in the constellations, and this is what type of year it's going to be.
Right.
So you move accordingly.
Right, and you know through the spirit too, because we did that video. They've seen something.
Yeah.
But for the scriptures to say he knoweth he got but a short time, why does he know? How does he know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
What is he tapped in? What has the Lord allowed him to see?
Ain't no denying it.
Us waking up.
Yep. Well, that was in that video I did. Basically, it was this dude who talked about this technology. It comes out of Babylon, Iraq. All right, and it allows them to use witchcraft and sorcery and on this. I forget it's with stones, but to see the future. Yeah. And they did it, and what they were able to see was an outcome that none of them want to discuss. Right. They said no matter what simulation they ran, no matter, it led them to the very same destination, some catastrophic event. So the Lord has allowed this devil to use that ancient technology in this time to show him something. You know?
And I did a lesson this morning going into that word "know" in that verse. And one of the definitions here says to ascertain what must be done about it. See? So they're ascertaining what must be done about cutting our connection with Yahweh Shema Shai so that they ain't gonna go into captivity. You know, they're ascertaining what must be done about stopping Yahweh Shai's return, you know, having this whole space force. They're ascertaining all that because they had to have seen something.
Mm-hmm.
And
they don't have a savior. You see? They don't have a savior.
They don't have an atonement.
It ain't nothing they can do.
Man.
So they got to figure out a way to try to combat it. You see? Like, we put in a position where we know when push come to shove, all we got to do is believe on the Lord and we're going to be delivered no matter how thick it get. He don't have that option. You see? We don't have to come out with a plan. You know what I'm saying? Right. We've been given the instructions to believe on the Lord.
I got one real quick. This is Psalms chapter 2 in the GNT chapter 2 and 2. I start at 1. Why do the nations plan rebellion? Why do the people make their useless plots? The kings revolt, their rulers plot together against the Lord and against the king he chose, Yahweh Shai. Let us free ourselves from their rule, they say. Let us throw off their control. See? Mm-hmm. And what do we have? How do we have control? It's prophecy. They're trying to throw off prophecy. Right. See? And they want to ultimately alter every human being on the planet Earth to their image, so it can be their creation. Right. This way, the Most High's plan doesn't play out anymore. That's how sick they are. Who would think of something like that? Satan would do that. That's something Satan would do. Well, Satan has children.
Psalm 64, verse 5 again. They encourage themselves in an evil matter. They commune of laying snares privily. They say, who shall see them? They search out iniquities. They accomplish a diligent search.
They accomplish a diligent search, meaning they put these plans together, man. All right? And you best believe when you see the state of Israel bombing Iran, this was in the works. They just like, you know, jump out of bed and start shooting some damn missiles. They understood what was going to be the ramifications of what they did, man. And they have things planned in their mind on how they want to do it. Okay? But ultimately, the Most High is going to show His hand.
Right.
That He's in control.
Exactly.
That He put it in your mind to think that you can do it.
Like Pharaoh.
Yeah. Because it's going to get all of it's going to get out of hand, man. Same with it, like we always say, we never said that the mark of the beast, the microchip, was a smart idea. It's a stupid idea. It's a prideful idea. It's an extremely prideful thought to think that you're going to accomplish that mission.
Whole world.
But since when has this man not been prideful, man?
Look what he does to the water.
Yeah.
That's not wise.
Water's now not even a human right.
So why do you think his plan for world domination is going to be? Of course it's stupid. It's not reasonable.
I got one. Greed.
It's like, I want those eyes. He means it.
Yeah, exactly. Greedy devil.
He's insane. He can never have enough.
Right. Yep.
Go ahead.
This is Job 20 and 22. It says, in the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. So right when he's trying to fulfill that new world order agenda in his perfection, he's going to be in straits. The Lord is not going to allow him to accomplish that, even though it seems like he's close, and they can feel that they're close too. You know, they feel like they're running out of time.
Yep. And they're being really the strait that Esau is in, and he vocalizes it, is that he's being outnumbered by the brown people, by the blacks and browns. He's been outpopulated, and they're figuring his ass out. Okay? In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits, and every hand of the wicked, the laborer, the toiler, shall be upon him. So Jake got Esau losing his goddamn mind. And the working class Edomites, they're figuring things out. They're mad. And what he's figuring out is there's too much people for me to accomplish this. So he got to go hardcore deceptive to destroy people. He's in straits. This is a horrible plan with all these goddamn people.
Right.
It's stupid.
And also too, not knowing what the Lord gonna do on the right hand side with his man. At the same time where Esau is trying to fulfill this AIB system plan, we don't know fully what's gonna happen on the right hand side with us. What he gonna have his man doing? Cause they gonna go hard and harder, we gonna go harder.
Yep.
Through the Spirit, because the Lord gonna make us go harder.
He's opening things up to us too, just like he's opening things up to them.
Yeah.
The left hand on the right hand is happening too.
That's right. That's right.
So I'm sorry.
No. My point is, when it says he's gonna be in straits, that's part of them straits. There's a lot of things we don't know that's gonna play to those straits that he's gonna be in. All kinds of stuff that he ain't gonna be able to wrap his head around himself, because the Lord is beyond, bro. You know. Go ahead.
Well, the scriptures talk about in the day of the Lord's power, the people gonna be willing. So he's gonna see, like you said, he's gonna see particular men getting power. He's gonna be like, oh no, we really gotta stop this now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
We really gotta make a move on these guys fast.
Right.
And that's when the Lord gonna step in. You know what I'm saying? Like when that's the standard gonna be lifted.
Now Psalms 2 going in that. Them cords, I'm gonna cut them cords. Yeah, they imagine a vain thing to cut the cords, because why? The right hand side power is shining right into that day coming. It's shining right now. That's why they got a problem. It's been shining for years, but the more the prophecies come about, the more they're gonna say these are the guys. You know, that fear.
I'm gonna just read this verse too. Job 20 and 23, it says, when he is about to fill his belly, the Most High shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him, and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So Esau think he's about to fill his belly, man. Have complete control. Have everybody worship this image like it's a god, okay, like an idol, because that's the overall plan, you know. He's trying to be in the seat of the Most High.
Right.
It says, he shall flee from the iron weapon, and the bow of steel shall strike him through. And that's the climactic ending of it. Ultimately, is thermonuclear destruction, you know. it's gonna have to get physical after the deception campaign no longer works. You know?
Right.
That's pretty much it, dog.
Revelation 13, go back.
Go back, yeah. This is actually Revelation 13, and I was in verse 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right, so that's the stage they're in now. They're making you bow to their image. All right, the Edomite image in the form there, because they've brought back Rome. They're making you bow to the image of Rome, to the government of Rome, but now it's heightened. Now, what they were able to do with Rome, they got the whole world in their hand. Now the sword is perfected. Okay, now they got the same Colosseum, so you've bought into this idea of life. All right, being led astray by these two lambs that come as a horn, and ultimately your soul is being taken from you. You're bowing to his image in exchange for your soul, and he's gonna solidify that oath by a mark.
Yep.
But before they get there, there's a lot of people that got to go. They have to bring so much chaos. Okay, so many people can go because they want to start over.
Right.
Boom. This is, and if you speak against it, you're speaking against God.
Yeah, we're not a part of that plan.
Jabby jab.
We're not a part of their new plan. You know,
No.
we'll be on the list for sure.
Yeah, we would have to go.
Yeah.
We know too much. Our children know too much. People like us and our children and anyone who's in contact with us got to go.
They can track the viewership, you know, the algorithms, even
Right.
if people are not out here proclaiming it like we are,
Right.
those that are watching, those that are leaving comments,
Yeah.
you know?
So in the new world that they plan on bringing, history as we know it, God, all of those things won't be in talking point.
Yeah.
Only a small elite will know the truth, you know. But ultimately, truth reading, they show it in the movies. That's going to be a thing of the past.
Yeah,
Free will to learn and study about the ancient times, and no,
yeah, they gonna consider that rebellion.
that's going to be rebellious.
We'll tell you what you read.
Even
and
if
you
they say
learn.
AI gonna write the Bible, gonna rewrite it, and it's gonna be better than the original Bible.
There's going to be a point. There's going to be a
Crazy.
point where people ain't going to know that there was ever a Bible.
Right. It's crazy shit.
That's what the world they plan on bringing.
Right.
So we go, the men who go get beheaded, they go get beheaded before, all right, Esau really is able to, you know, we got to go.
Oh, yeah.
That's why the Lord is going to have to send Michael down, man, and the angels, Yahweh Shai, man.
Yeah. And people don't think in a massive war, in a situation where they wipe out most men on the earth, you can rewrite history, man.
Yes.
Hell yeah.
You know?
Yes.
You can have all the things. Oh man, this book has caused so much rebellions and bloodshed. We need to get rid of it.
Right.
It's a book. It's a terroristic book.
Yep. You go to click on certain movies. This is according to the new, the new doctrine, basically, or the New World Order. This is considered dangerous to the mind. You won't be able to hear certain things.
Yeah, it's already like that in China.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
You can't just click on what you want in China. You can't get on World Star Hip Hop in China. You get arrested.
Somebody will come.
You know, real quick.
That's smart.
This is first, just to back up your point. First Maccabees, chapter 1, get straight to the point, verse 55 and 56. Yeah, I'll read verse 57. And burnt incense at the doors of their houses and in the streets. Now, this is at the time of the Greek Empire, by the way. And when they had written pieces, the books of the law which they found, they burnt them with fire.
They burned the Bible. They were burning the Bible. They were burning the scrolls. So that's what they had back then. They had the scrolls. It wasn't just burning like actual Bibles, but they were burning the books of the law, the scrolls. Go ahead.
Yep, verse 57. And wheresoever was found with any the book of the testament, or if any consented to the law, the king's commandment was that they should be put to death. And that's going in, and that's lining right up with what the elders are saying, man. You see, they're not going to have. They don't want you to have no recollection of history of who you were.
Right.
And they did the same thing when we was in slavery, man.
Right.
That's why they didn't let you read stories about Moses and leading them out of Egypt. You wasn't allowed to read that.
They don't want
You wasn't around.
They don't want you to know who you are, who they are either.
Yeah.
Yeah, the two main characters in the Bible have been hidden.
Yeah. Stories of Joshua, the stories of Joshua, that wasn't in there.
Man.
Call me.
Gideon, all those stories, you wasn't allowed to read none of that. And if they caught you even reading, you would be sometimes put to death, man. But here in this digital age, this new world order, man, no, they ain't about to. Oh, I'm a Hebrew Israelite, hell no.
No, that's what these camps talking about. In the next 10 years, we plan on being the biggest Israelite camp. Nigga, you not. Just look at where this world is going. You really believe
Retarded as hell. Why
that
would you wanna be?
look at where the world is going. Look at what Trump has done in 6 months.
Man,
Right.
You really think 10 years down the line, if things keep going as is,
Nah.
we gonna be able to flourish like that here?
Nah, it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
Absolutely.
Showing you they seeking their glory on this side.
Right.
Now you supposed to measure the time, because if you listen to the prophets, you should be able to measure the time and have an idea, not a day, but an idea like,
Right.
okay, shit, we in this time,
Right.
Let me repent, let me get
Right,
right.
right.
You know what I'm saying? Examine yourself and take advantage of the grace
Right.
that is given.
Right.
That's it.
Yep. And another aspect of us being in Rome is deporting. They used to deport people out of their kingdom for your belief. For if you commit sacrilege or rebelling against the king, talking about another king sitting on the throne,
Yep.
that was you put yourself in the threat of death.
Yep, that's right.
So they would when they kicked the Jews, which it really was the Christians. It was the Church of Yahweh Shai that got kicked out of Rome. A lot of the Jews had sold out. They were all political and the law. The ones that were really flowing in the spirit that had the Romans scared was the Church of Yahweh Shai. They were going into prophecy, right? Talking about fire coming and Babylon being burnt. They were going into those scriptures, and Nero was like, okay, so they hate our idols. They always talk about fire coming. He burned down a temple associated with Jupiter in a region of Rome and blamed the Church of Yahweh Shai. And he had the necessary accusation method. Just look at what they teach. So they deported, the Jews got deported out of Rome, out of the Roman Empire. They got kicked out. So Rome did that back then, what they're doing in the form of deportation. So the image is this is nothing new, what we're witnessing.
Yep.
Rome deported people all the time.
Tells you that in Acts 18.
Yeah.
When Paul was with Aquila and Priscilla, it says that that was lately, it said in time of Claudius Caesar, they kicked him out of Rome.
Well, get it. Okay. Get it. Because that speaks to what's happening right now. Because they're setting up a registry. Okay? They're setting up it was a census at one point. The census was actually you and all your family members had to register so they can know who's in their empire. You had to be on record. Okay? Go ahead.
This is Acts 18:1. And after these things, Paul departed from Athens and came to Corinth, and found a certain Jew named Aquila, born in Pontus, lately come from Italy with his wife Priscilla.
You had Israelites in Italy. Okay? People hear Italy and all they just know it's talking about a white man.
Yeah. Italian man.
Yeah.
was in Africa.
Jake was everywhere, man. Go ahead.
Yep. Continuing on, because that Claudius had commanded all Jews to depart from Rome.
Right. To depart from Rome. Now somebody can look up what was going on during that time.
Yep, I'm looking it up right now.
It's a brother, GMS Hawaii, Bob put on here at Shalom. He put the Roman government relocated groups of people within the empire for various reasons, although deportation might not be the precise term used in Roman law.
Right, and of course, but we're in Rome again.
So we're in Rome again, yep.
So it's presenting itself, but it's presenting
Same
itself
concept.
under the same, under another name.
Yeah, right. The concept is just evolved.
Like the Christmas tree.
Right.
It wasn't called Christmas back in Babylon,
Saturday
but it's
night,
the
yeah.
same concept. It's the same practice.
Yep. It says this. It says types of exile. There were varying degrees, such as relegatio, temporary banishment with some rights retained, and deportatio, permanent exile to a specific location.
Deportatio. What is
Yep.
this, Rome?
Yeah, this is Rome.
Wow. See?
That's a Latin word.
Yep.
T.
It says permanent exile to a specific location, often an island with loss of citizenship.
Could you imagine some big 7-foot some Edomite with sandals on? Deportatio!
Man.
Running after your
I
ass?
said it with a stick.
With a
Man.
bag.
With a stick. Yeah, a spear.
Your ass in the back.
Gotta go, gotta go.
Man.
Cursing you out like viciously.
That's what Rome was on. Gotta go, gotta go. You had to go. So the concept of deportation, that's nothing new under the sun.
Syrian Empire.
The Syrians?
They said they call that literally. They call that in certain instances they call that the Great Deportation, and that was the northern tribes. There ain't nothing new. It's the same thing. It's the same thing is happening again. Get your ass out of the land. Deportatio. Right?
Yep. It says, yes, Christians in the Roman Empire faced deportation, particularly during periods of persecution, though it was not a universal or constant policy. Deportation, often in the form of exile or banishment, was one of several punishments against Christians, typically alongside imprisonment, execution, or forced labor in mines. Right?
Real quick. This is about the Assyrians.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is 2nd Esdras 13 and 40. These are the 10 tribes who were taken away into captivity in the time of King Hoshea. King Shalmaneser of Assyria captured them and deported them
Look at that.
to a foreign land. You know,
Look at that. Get out of here.
deportatio. Deportatio. That's the spirit Esau in.
Yeah.
You gotta go. Basically, if you don't agree, and who's at the forefront of what's good or bad? The small hat.
I seen them today.
They're acting on his behalf. The laws are being passed on behalf of the small hat.
Right.
That's who really controls this government, man.
Yep. The whole time.
The whole time.
It's a trip.
I was looking it up. Well, I saw this short, and you can take everything with a grain of salt sometimes. But they said the only time America was bombed, it was somewhere, but it was Israel, and America said, "Don't worry about it." But usually they will retaliate. But with them, they bombed an American ship
It was
somewhere.
an American ship. USS started like
Yeah.
and then the Israel ships came and they started shooting them,
just shooting
and then Lyndon B. Johnson was pretty much like, "Hey, well, shit, let them die." Like,
Let 'em
keep it
die.
on there.
Yeah.
They knew it was an inside, like, and they already knew. They was like, "I'm down for Israel." I know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
It was
So-
a ship.
Right. Liberation.
The USS Liberty.
But the
or
thing-
something like
hey, Man, look, to think they actually put us in slavery like that with the Atlantic slave trade, right? And they funded the whole thing, and they just lost power.
Yeah.
No, they never lost power. They've been in control of America this whole time. This whole time, they have not given power. No, they've been in control.
Right, they rule from behind the curtains like the Chaldeans.
Exactly.
It's called the USS Liberty.
Exactly.
Okay.
It says the USS Liberty incident was an attack on a United States Navy technical research ship by Israeli Air Force jet fighter aircraft and Israeli naval motor torpedo boats in June 8, 1967 during the 6-day war. They started that whole shit.
They just don't stop.
They were dropping napalm on them.
Yeah.
everything.
Amalek has not stopped.
Yeah.
If when you, I mean, and it's kind of like,
Mega
it's crazy how we've been living all this time and we never really, even in the truth, we didn't consider, I used to be like, how does Amalek tie to the beast system? And now we're seeing it,
Yeah.
Yep. Yep. Things are manifesting more and more for us to see clear.
They run all the financial tentacles, man.
Yep.
And with their lobby groups, they write all the laws.
Right.
So they're deeply integrated
Right.
with not just America, but the whole Western structure. Because they write all the laws for Europe.
Man.
Who you think is putting on the World Economic Forum?
Right.
Trilateral Commission. And putting everything in there. Like we said, it's the people that you don't see.
Yep.
You know?
Now, to what you just said, Netanyahu, it's an old video, I think in 1980 something. He was bragging about that very same thing because they asked him about basically Israel's influence of America. Pretty much he said, we are America. He said all the lobbyists, all your cabinet, they said they from the Jewish state.
Yeah.
He said we have the biggest influence over their, not just America, the American people, etc. This is when he had dark brown hair when he was younger.
Yeah.
He been having his mindset. He been new. That's why they were asking him, hey, do we go on Iraq? What do we do? And he's sitting there giving them all the instructions. Who is this guy?
Yeah.
Why is he so important? Because it ties back to the Jewish state, to the Zionists.
And we lived through that, and we never really seen that shit.
Nope. We
We just thought they was just going to Iraq based on weapons of mass destruction. Bush.
The
whole time,
It's this nigga.
it was the small hat, the least of the flock.
Right. Because when you, hey, go read his book. 1995 book of Netanyahu. I haven't finished it. I read a little bit of it. But the point is that that's where they got that from. Bush and he's the influence guy the whole time.
Yeah.
He's the one who said, hey, let's invade Iraq. I need some troops. But he didn't use Israel troops. He used 4,000, 5,000 U.S. troops.
Right, and this is how the horror rise the beast. Because who aids Israel and America and all of this destruction?
Right.
The NATO and the EU.
Right.
It's a beast system.
It's a system. Yeah.
You got it.
No. It's very important to understand, and all in the spirit, man. Once you understand Netanyahu's history, and you understand what's embedded in his heart, you know this is it.
Wars with his heart.
Right. Whatever day it land on. But measuring the time, that's part of measuring it, understanding this guy.
God damn.
Why is he so confident? I used to wonder why this guy was so confident. He wouldn't blink. I'm like, who is this dude? Everybody answered to this dude. He killing everybody. Nobody saying nothing. It goes all the way back, Jack. All the way back. So guess what? That Iran shit, this dude is 75. This is his legacy time right now. He's not playing.
And the crazy part about it is another aspect of this being Rome all over again.
Yeah.
Rome gave jurisdiction to Judea to the Herodians, which I believe in the spirit those were Amalekites.
Oh yeah.
It only makes sense.
To the spirit.
Those were Amalekites, the Herodian.
It only makes sense.
And what were they calling themselves? King of the Jews. So they were trying to get the birthright back, because when you look into it, they weren't worshiping. They were still following their quas god. They weren't really following the Edomites. They were forcibly converted to Judaism to give them a reason to fight in a war. They had particular wars, and to be in the army of an Israelite, you had to be a Jew, so to speak, at that time. You had to be in our army, you had to be a Jew, right? Judah, Benjamin, and Levi.
Yep.
So they had the Edomites circumcise themselves and start keeping the laws.
Right.
But they weren't true. Now, some of them were like, nigga, I'm a Jew. But when you look at Herod the Great, king of the Jews, that Herodian dynasty, they didn't uplift Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, man. They wanted to kill Yahweh Shai. So that entity is still here. The Edomites didn't just disappear.
No, that's the experience. That's right.
So and you had Rome ruling, but they gave another Edomite family, okay, the Herodians, power over Judea specifically. Today it's the same goddamn thing. How did the Zionist state of Israel get set up? By the British. That's what America comes out of.
Right.
So when you're looking at the Zionist state of Israel, you're looking at an extension of British in America.
Right. That's right.
That's what you're looking at. Now people are starting to talk about these things on the news. Tucker Carlson,
Right.
Candace Owens. Everybody is starting to question these people because we're at the end of Esau's world, man.
Right.
I got something quick.
Finish that in Revelation too.
I got something quick. Psalm chapter 49, verse 11. Their inward thought is that
Their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. Right, they think they're going to live forever and dwell forever and be in position of power forever. And while they're in position of power, they're going to create some shit on left-hand side to make them live longer. It's all tied to the beast system and just their demonic mind of pride. They have a high pride to think the earth was given to the hand of the wicked, for sure. But it's only for a moment. Okay, that's why we're the problem, because we remind them of that. We remind them through the spirit, through the scriptures that, look, it's only for a moment. We know why you got these bunkers. We know who you are in the Bible. Okay, that's why they feared when those bones came together. They feared because his truth was exposing it. It lifted up that skirt super high.
Go ahead.
This is back in Revelation 13 and 15. It says, and he had power to give life unto the image of the beast,
Right.
that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
Right. So ultimately, he's given life to Rome. The Renaissance led to this. The Renaissance was the rebirth of Greco-Roman thought, governance, science, art, literature, poetry, romance. Romance goes back to Rome. That was all rebirthed through the Renaissance, and America was the stamp. Along with America, you have the vassals, the subordinate countries, which give their kingdom to America for the alliance of a beast system. Okay? And ultimately, we are witnessing the rebirth of Rome. And if you don't bow to their ideology, if you don't bow to their image, that's what Trump is here to put back into place, is that old scientific racism. Basically, what they were able to do throughout the four corners of the earth using Christianity and Jesus Christ, they're bringing it back via science now. Okay? And they're getting ready to use these systems to absolutely wage war on you Americans. And you will not have due process. If you don't worship the image, you're not going to make it to the Karak system. You got to go.
Right.
Okay? And the juicy jab was an example of him making you worship his image.
Yep. Right.
This is healing. This is salvation of now. He was able to make a needle into an idol within a matter of weeks.
Man.
People arguing about it.
Man,
People
real.
talking about it. All of the videos about it.
Yep.
You couldn't talk about it. He would take your video down. It was a god.
Right. I got a quick one. Judges 10 and 13, it says, yet ye have forsaken me and served other gods. You know, talking about that jab being worshipped as an idol pretty much.
Yep.
It says, wherefore I would deliver you no more. Go and cry to the gods which ye have chosen.
Right.
Let them deliver you in the time of your tribulation.
Yep. And all of the people who took them jabs and kept going and going and going, you through. And that's a lot of people we know. See, when Israel was getting bit by the serpent in the wilderness, the Lord said the only way to be delivered from that is through looking at this brass serpent. And it was a serpent on the pole, which symbolized Yahweh Shai. Esau is trying to set himself up on the left-hand side as that serpent on the pole. And he's doing it, okay, through how can I say it? His meds.
Right.
Technology is now how you heal yourself.
Right. Science.
Yeah.
Yep.
All his pharmaceuticals.
Yeah.
Yep. All that. He wants to be the savior. Yep.
Pharmakia.
Yep.
So this nigga is crazy.
Oh yeah. Yep.
The so-called white man is out of,
he
he is a
glory.
savage. You look at him and you think, oh, the old white man,
He the perfect devil.
that nigga, look at Elon Musk, he is insane.
He is.
Yeah, he
Klaus Schwab, oh my God. Imagine what he's doing on the weekends.
heard this too.
Now they had put the GAB They had tied it with those RNA strands with HIV, right?
Yeah, true.
Now they got a
now what's
shot.
happening right now?
Yeah.
What's running rampant now?
Especially like you said, in black
Yep.
women.
Yeah.
And now they're bringing about
That's who mostly
injection that will keep you from getting HIV
I heard about
for
that.
6 months.
Damn, I forgot what it's called.
So now these are the end thing. You had one of the Braxtons promoting.
Yeah. Tamar.
So this man is the absolute devil, man.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Now you guys, you gonna have to go get your AIDS shot.
Hell no.
They said that.
And this ain't
like,
medical
Braxton
information.
or something.
This is we just reading
Say it.
We just reading it after all that, nigga. This ain't medical information. We just read the Bible. Yeah, right? Esau. But the Lord got a spirit out there where he's allowing certain talking points to flourish. Everybody is too much.
Yeah.
Everybody is cursing out the jizzy jab. Everybody's cursing out the small hats. It's really, he's losing control. This is why he needs all of this chaos.
He's panicking.
Short time.
Like
on, man.
he's in a frenzy right now.
Yeah.
He knows that his global system of conception, he doesn't have really like a full grip on it.
Yeah, he don't have a grip.
You know, so he has to now. He about to just
gotta
start
come
going
with a
crazy.
counter move.
He messed it up himself, man.
Yeah, he was tripping.
He put the social media out there for everybody to talk, communicate, go live all around
Right,
the world.
all that shit. Yeah.
You should have never done that.
Twofold, like,
I would have never freed the slave. Never. Y'all niggas would have been forever. Y'all would have been slavery
For the whole time.
the whole time. Never.
No rights.
Abraham Lincoln would have got
Whoops.
shot
hey,
way before that.
hey, proving that was the Lord that did it.
That was the Lord that did
It
that.
proves that the Lord controls
Yeah.
man's mind. Because nobody in their right mind would let go of that power.
Well, we had to
Right.
prophesy.
Nobody.
Yep.
We had to prophesy, so the Lord put a spirit on the Edomites to pass a law, pass laws for free speech.
Right.
Yep.
So prophecy can be fulfilled. How could we have
Come on now. Right.
didn't be doing this during hardcore slavery?
Right.
Right.
Not only did the Lord free the slaves, but it's getting progressively worse for Esau.
Yeah.
They got rights. They can't be deported.
Women's
All kinds
rights.
of shit going on. Now we got this. It's like it's getting worse and worse and worse.
Yeah.
Losing.
Right, and you Edomites are the reason for black fatigue. You created niggas. That's your
They
creation.
done made Juneteenth mainstream now.
So now you got black fatigue. The slave masters made them niggas, man.
Gang.
They made niggas act into niggas because a nigga only mimics the white man. That's who he's mimicking.
Exactly.
Like Dr.
He
Frank.
just does it in the neighborhood while you do it worldwide.
Envy your own press.
Let's go back to that.
Yep. This is
Read 15 one more time.
that's
Like the 8th time.
Revelation 13 and 15. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed.
And that word killed could also mean to be separated. So there's going to be a point where you're separated from fellowship with the beast system. You can't eat, you can't work, you can't buy, you can't sell.
Yep.
Save you or fall in line with merging yourself with machine. Because once AI takes over, being human ain't going to be enough. You're going to have to merge yourself. You're going to have to compete. You're going to have to integrate.
You say it all the time. The human experience is played out.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We over this experience. You see? So to want to further yourself in this experience, it's gonna have to get rid of you.
You got demons on you.
Yeah, you're tripping.
You know? But the Lord set us up to have that mindset.
Right.
The average Jake really, they'll be happy if Esau just said, y'all ain't got to pay taxes no more.
Yeah.
And Esau could do that. He could really do that, This is your reparations. Nigga, don't pay taxes. I would be happy. I wouldn't forgive him, but
Hell no.
I mean, I'll take it. It would be relief.
Now get a righteous man.
You look at your net versus your gross. Imagine a system where you really was able to get your gross.
Shit, different. It's different for sure.
You would be a happier.
Yeah, you will.
You have a lot of problems will be alleviated. The scriptures say money is a defense.
Yep.
But how
You
much
ain't
more
got
wisdom?
none. Yeah, 'cause when you ain't got none, man, you subject to all kind of things. Man.
Right.
It ain't no worse feeling than not having enough. You know what I'm saying? Just that little line looking goofy.
And you can't have enough in this system.
Hey, hold on, check my pocket.
This system makes it to where you can't have enough.
Ag with holes in it.
There's no way to win.
People make impulsive decisions.
Like Michael Jackson on a whiz.
Yep.
You can win. You can't win.
Can't get out the game.
How you gonna win here?
Right here.
This is the win right here.
Right, exactly. Right, that's right. That's right.
Go ahead.
Revelation 13 and 16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond.
So if you're saying God bless America, you're saying God bless Rome.
Yeah.
If you're saying I love America, this is the best place ever, you're really talking about Rome.
Yep. Yep. This is it.
You've bowed to the image. You've said this is it.
We're the
We
great
worship the image of the beast.
You worship the image. You down with the way they police and pass laws, and you down with the laws.
Righteous decrees.
You down with the decrees.
Alphabet agenda.
And you're starting to see Jake, which the deportation thing, on some level, I get it, right? But they are deporting people who are legal. It's totally wicked how they're doing it, man.
It's wicked, man.
Yep.
It's just theater.
But on some level, okay, but then your own government, somebody that sat in the White House he allowed them to come in.
Right.
Yep.
We didn't allow them to come in.
They had babies, they got families, got businesses.
The whole family.
You go to the pool, right? You go to the pool, there's a family of goddamn Hondurans with a speaker this goddamn big, glowing.
Yeah.
You're like, who the fuck is
They
niggas took over?
Wow, take colors.
took over my
Playing that Mexican, that Latin music.
That speaker that changed colors.
Yeah, that cheap speaker that changed colors. You don't even go to the pool no more. So on some level, and they put them niggas right in the hood. They put them right in the hood. And this is why people in Chicago were rebelling, because they were telling them to even give up their homes for these people. It was a total shit show. Why would you allow all of these people to migrate into your...
That's insane.
Every country pretty much has a border policy. You just let them come in.
You just can't go into no Russia or China or any other country.
Chaos.
Now
Chaos.
Trump is coming to fix it.
Right.
But everybody got to suffer.
Right.
Go ahead.
All right. It says Revelation 13 and 16, and he causeth all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their forehead.
So this is what John saw, man.
This is the philosophy.
This is it. Because they say it's a philosophy. Well, what is the philosophy? Okay, I'll take that.
Break it
The
down.
MOTB is a philosophy. Well, isn't a philosophy centered around something?
Right.
What's the philosophy? You can't say Christianity. Show me an Edomite ruler right now in any sect of society really pushing the Bible like that.
Yep.
Or
What
Christianity.
philosophy? Socrates, Plato, Marcus Aurelius.
Yeah.
What philosophy?
Yeah, what's the philosophy?
These guys can tell you what it ain't, but they cannot tell you what it is.
Aristotle.
And what philosophy is going to cause you to be able to have control over buying and selling?
Right. Come on now.
It's not the chip. What is it?
What is it?
Please tell us.
Right. Help me out so I won't die.
Please.
What philosophy is they refuse you finding swords?
Right.
Next chapter.
Right. In Revelation 16, it talks about
Nah, brother, that's spiritual.
it talk about you taking that, those who took that had swords on them.
Yeah, that's going to be spiritual too.
Right,
That's a spiritual.
They're gonna link it to
Pus
Isaiah,
coming
they're
out.
gonna link it to Isaiah 1.
Yeah, she's oozing
That's
pus.
your spirit bruise. Taking on that philosophy.
Hey, the fact that Jake, that know the Israelites, that claim to be teachers, are being nonchalant when it comes to that subject, that lets you know they're not the prophets. Because you can get everything right, but if you get that mark,
Right.
you're done.
Tell you that in Revelation.
So
14.
you gotta get that breakdown right. You gotta put emphasis and give Jake the meat in due season, like it talks about in Matthew 24. Right, blessed he to give him meat in due season. What is meat in due season? The food, the spiritual food they need for the time.
Right, for that time. Yep.
And are we not in the time of the beast?
Uh.
AI and them taking over? So how are y'all not talking about that? Why is only us
Yeah, why ain't it mentioned? Jake ain't, they don't even talk about it.
at all?
You got a precept?
Come on, man.
Revelation 14:9, and the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand.
This is a message. This is a doctrine. This is a prophets. So where's that being said at? Who's saying that like that? Read that again.
Revelation 14:9. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, if any man worship the beast and his image.
And this message comes from the heavens. That's why I said an angel, because the angel is symbolizing the Holy Spirit coming down upon the prophets, okay, through Yahweh Shai, to basically sing the new song, right. Have access to unlocking the understanding of these scriptures, man.
Right, that's right.
Go ahead.
Yep, it says, if any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High.
So they would know what it is. There would be a death. If they're telling you, if you worship the beast, because again, these are something these camps don't do. They don't break down what the beast is. It said worship the beast and his image and receive this mark. So they're three separate things.
Right.
So what is the beast? What is the image of the beast? And how does it differ from the mark? It's not all the same thing, but they all go hand in hand.
Right.
Okay? Go ahead.
The same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of the Most High, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation.
So if they're out there saying that, they're identifying these things.
Yeah, specifically.
Yeah. How they gonna have a message of gloom like that and doom for doing it without being able to tell you what you shouldn't be doing?
Right.
Come on, man. Come on, man.
Right.
Come on.
They say it's a philosophy, but they don't specify, okay, like what philosophy
What
is.
philosophy? Because what is a philosophy?
Socrates' philosophies, hypotheses.
Like a way of, a theory? No, a theory? Okay, so look it up. Shit, we through like a motherfucker.
I got
Well,
some.
I'm gonna have a
I
definition.
know it's love or wisdom. Philo, love, and Sophie, wisdom.
It's like a thought. Is we good on the live?
Check that.
It says philosophy is the study of fundamental questions about existence, knowledge, value, reason,
A reason for things.
mind, and language.
That's a very broad topic right there.
Yeah, because the word means a love of wisdom.
So what type of Esau does wisdom love? Philo is love, right?
Yep. And Sophie is wisdom.
Sophie is wisdom. So the love of wisdom. What type of wisdom does the white man love? And what is he boasting in right now?
Evil.
In this age, what is his claim to fame? Technology.
Yeah.
So, okay, if he has a philosophy, what's the philosophy centered around? And what does it require you to do? The prophet should be able to identify these things.
Yeah, what is the Edomite philosophy?
Right.
The way that they think you should live.
Right. Break it down.
The
Left hand
elites.
philosophies.
Yep. We got precept.
Sirach 19:22. The knowledge of wickedness is not wisdom, neither at any time the counsel of sinners prudence.
So he created artificial wisdom.
Right. Yep.
He created artificial wisdom in the
Yep.
form of artificial intelligence.
Yep.
And it's a literal power.
Yep.
Artificial intelligence is a literal power,
Yep.
but it's deceiving people.
Because they've circumvented the way that God has created things and created artificial forms and shortcuts.
Right.
And then don't realize why the earth is so polluted.
Right.
Why is everything jacked up?
His way is the
You've
best
gone around the natural order of the way things are supposed to be established.
way. Come on, man. That's right.
It doesn't work either.
Yeah, in every aspect of society, from food to how you deal with your woman, family,
Man, everything. Man.
They don't consider the
Animals.
life and how it's going to affect you and be detrimental long term.
right?
Changing of the season.
Right.
You know, everything they've circumvented the natural way of doing it. Oh, that takes too long.
Esau likes instant gratification.
We can do it better,
That's crazy.
right?
But it says in that same scripture, a fool is in the wanting, meaning that wisdom is insufficient. You know?
Yep. Isaiah 24.
When you read Revelation 13 and 15, and it says, and he causes all both small and great, rich and poor, free. No, that ain't talking about no philosophy, man.
It just don't fit.
Just say you don't know, man.
Right. Humble yourself and learn.
Like for real, yeah.
You already did.
That ain't talking about no philosophy, man.
Philosophy. Man. Okay, well, what the fuck is it?
Philosophy is such a broad.
Niggas at the barbershop got philosophies.
Well, hold on. When we were all
Jack
drop
for the
bones,
taking.
right? When we were all drop bones, we would drop bones because what? Of the doctrine and philosophies of Esau. So if you make that the mark, then we're already dead already. There's no point to be out here teaching if that's the case.
Yes.
So they can't even process that.
Right. We've adopted Esau's philosophies at one point of our lives. So that means that we've had the mark.
Already.
What, we just took it out.
Now he's saying that China and these other nations don't follow the philosophy of America.
Come on, man.
So
If it's a philosophy, how does that play out?
Are they gonna be able to buy or sell or no?
Right, break it
So
down.
America just not gonna do no business with these, you know?
Come on,
Why they
right.
gonna be going when they see the smoke of her burn?
When you know China's very intricately tied to the United States economy of buying and selling. They just gonna stop?
Even places they have sanctions on, they still trade with them on certain levels.
Yes. Like I said, we buy Russian oil.
Right.
They buy our shit.
Right.
Okay? We buy Russian vodka. Okay?
So many ways to get cut on that. So many ways.
This is the book. Oh, you got
Nah,
something?
go ahead. I was just
Finish.
gonna
Finish.
Revelation 13 and 17, it says, "In that no man might buy or sell, save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name."
Right. And in verse start, it says he causeth. This is going to be a causation. The philosophies you're talking about are already going on, man.
There you go. Yep, that's right.
That's already, this is a particular event that's going to happen during the time of this beast.
Yo, this is a noun, a person, place, or thing that is being described right
That's
here.
going to lead to these things,
Right.
man.
Not
Right?
just some vague philosophy like y'all say.
You can tell us what it ain't, but you cannot tell us what it is because the spirit ain't with you.
Exactly.
Chief Ephraim.
Right.
Yeah, you
And
got
I don't
folly
give you
demons.
credit to be no agent.
Nah, they wasting their bread.
Too damn stupid to be an agent.
He said, "Wait a minute,
Throwing
He's a
Niggas
crash
spending all that damn money on the wackest agents of all time. These niggas ain't no agents. They stupid.
Yeah, just blinded, man.
Government gives this nigga a PS5.
They
Like,
blinded.
if this nigga's an agent, they gonna be like, nigga, give me my credit card back.
I'm telling you. I'm telling you.
Trash ass agent.
You'll come home, everything gonna be gone.
Well, hold on. Hey, hold on. Hey,
How you gonna be an agent but you ain't infiltrated nothing?
right. No, hold on. If everybody's an agent, right? If every Jake's an agent that's saying contrary, crazy shit. If they're all agents, well, then where do we leave room for the strong delusions that the scriptures talk about when you don't believe the truth that was said? These guys got strong, everybody's not these guys, they got strong delusions because the Lord said he was going to do
They
it.
simple. This nigga sitting up all damn night thinking about how he could come against the mark being,
Yeah, that's crazy.
the chip being the mark.
Come on, man.
And this is how I think about it.
Nigga
And
leaving
that
the
was
gym
Stupid.
to talk,
Yeah,
to
leaving
talk
the
against
gym.
the chick.
Yeah. He was walking on the incline on the treadmill. Well, China don't follow America, so yeah, you dummy.
$1 million question. Slow.
Get off that treadmill and shut up.
That question should have been for free. That was a free question.
So there is a such thing as a dumb
And they
ass.
talked about taking his name because really that's what it is. The name of the beast, the number of his name. Okay, because you're basically you're entering into a marriage with this guy.
Right.
What happens in a marriage? You put your name on your possession.
Verse Revelation 13 and 18, it says, "Here is wisdom." Here's the philosophy. It says, "Here is wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, for it is the number of a man, and his number is 666."
Right, and ultimately That's the system we living in right now, man. And you look, 666 is embedded in this man's wisdom. It's embedded in his system. It's like the number of his shit.
It is.
And when you go into it, it's for I believe the 6 protons, 6 something, but it's the control of carbon is what he wants. He wants the control of life. Okay? He represents the left hand of things, man.
Yeah. So you talking about carbon, proton, neutron, electron?
Yeah. But we know it's child side stigma. And you break that down, that's going into the very MOTB system. But when you look at what he's trying to do, he's going to use that system to track carbon, to quantify it. He wants to measure and limit your carbon footprint in the earth, to save the earth that he destroyed.
Yeah. Say he gonna save the earth.
The cows and food as we knew it is heating the earth up. So we have better methods of food or re-engineered new cows that are safe to get us to net zero.
Constipated cows.
The cow constipated.
Yeah. He can't for it.
It got cheetah genes in it.
He destroyed.
So you eating the cow, it's cheetah. But a lot of the stuff we eat is mixed with different genes of unclean animals.
It is.
Yeah, you good?
You good.
Yeah.
So this is the world we live in, man. He's recreating life itself, man, in a very negative image, in a very negative light. Okay? Somebody had something?
Off the comment board, this is a good one. Son of Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushua put Romans 11:8. It says, according as it is written, the Most High have given them a spirit of slumber, eyes that they should not see, and ears that they should not hear unto this day. So you got guys that are just dumbasses
Slow
in the
bellies.
spirit, slow bellies.
Dark.
The brain cells, they're not firing off, man.
Right.
You know?
Brute beasts.
And they don't never show up to prophesy until they just talking against the chip. They don't really do video. They're not breaking nothing down like that.
Yeah, you talk to these guys, you see those memes with somebody like Homer Simpson, and it's just Pong. Again, that Pong game where the ball is going on one side, they just simple, man.
Just can't process information.
They really don't, it's not connected. You had somebody? Make sure to bring it out loud.
This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 14, verse 9.
God.
And if the prophet be deceived when he has spoken a thing, I, the Lord, Yahweh Hashem Yahushai, have deceived that prophet. And I will stretch out my hand upon him, and I will destroy him from the midst of my people, Israel.
A lot of these guys that's breaking down Revelation, the 13th chapter, the 14th chapter, they're saying it's talking about an embargo, it's talking about, sanctions, it's talking about a philosophy of Christianity. They've been deceived.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's evident what's happening right in front of all of our faces.
Like when we see what's
I
happening.
mean, clear.
Right.
Super clear.
It's clear everything's going digital. They're pushing AI. All right. Just like you had the transition from cash to credit card, we're coming into another transition, man.
Yep.
They went from the credit card to put the chip on your phone to
Apple
tap
Pay,
it.
yep.
Now Apple Pay. It's just you
And
see
don't
where
forget,
it's going.
the Great Depression brought about a Social Security card.
Yep.
So another Great Depression can bring about the next version of that.
Right. So we're going into all these digital. We're going into digital payment systems to where it's biometric.
Bro, man, we are really in hell.
Yeah.
That is, to have to endure that
Yeah.
is crazy.
Yeah.
Damn. It's like we got so used to it growing up that that's not normal.
It's not. And it's disturbing.
It's noise.
Yeah.
Noise rubs your waters the wrong way.
It's disturbing, man. All day you're pumped with cortisol, stress. You know? Bro, I was driving. I had to drive for work, Houston back to Dallas today. Bro, I was so damn stressed when I got home, bro. Women should not be allowed to drive. They make the experience on the highway much worse.
They don't let you over.
They don't let you over. They're terrible decision makers. They do things last minute. You knew you was gonna get over on this exit, but you still in this lane. Now you want to come all the way over 5 lanes.
They drive with their emotions.
Yeah, goodness gracious, man.
They blow the horn
That
at
video
you.
in the chat. That video in the chat with the nigga woman in the awesome.
Oh man.
Oh man, that was pure gold.
Yeah. You know? You got people that's literally high on drugs, driving around crazy, bats, you know? It's crazy, man. You know? This place is just filled with stress. Everything, the food you eat, stress. The water, you drinking stress. Antibiotics in the water.
All the water.
You know?
This
Everything is stressful, man. The noise.
neighbors, like everything.
Smell.
Shit.
Yeah, the smell.
It smells stress. You scrolling on your phone, you see all you see is stress.
You're triggered.
All day.
The same bullshit. Everybody talking about the same shit every day, all day.
Arguing.
You know?
This is and they know what talking points get people going. So a lot of these comments be bots to stir things up. And you look, it's a thread full of arguing. People just arguing.
Man.
People are triggered all day.
Yeah.
That's why you got to be mindful with your consumption of social media, man.
No, I mean the way that they set up TV now, and even on YouTube, if you watch TV through YouTube, like ESPN, everything is just about 3 or 4 people sitting in a panel arguing about something. Fox News is just arguing, bro. Have you ever watched Piers Morgan?
Yeah. He just bring people over there and let them
Just
argue.
All day.
It's a good show, though.
It's entertaining.
Yeah.
But they just be arguing, man. Everything is stress, man. You got to chill. But that's how it was in ancient Greece, though. That's how it was in ancient Greece. You know, back in Rome when they had the Colosseums.
Bro, the one thing that tripped me out, you see how they got Gordon Ramsay and Bobby Flay and all them back during the time of Rome, they made the chef celebrities and shit.
Yeah.
That even go back to it.
Look at that.
You know what I'm saying?
Look at that.
Yeah.
Somebody got it. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 7. And to you who are troubled, rest with us. When the Lord Yahushua shall be revealed from heaven with his mighty angels, and flaming fire taking vengeance on them that know not Yahweh, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord Yahushua.
Christians act like that's not in the Bible.
Right.
Like who the world calls Jesus was just like the most friendliest character of all time. Hey, the Lord is coming back to destroy.
Yeah, seriously, for real.
You try to make these Muslims seem like they the most radical. The Bible is a radical book. In the New Testament.
Right.
They want to act like the Old Testament is just everybody died in the Old Testament.
Right.
And then the New Testament is just peaceful.
Right.
No.
Stupid as hell.
Most High wants people to die.
Right.
And the word radical really just means one who goes back to their roots. One who sticks to his roots.
Right. Serious about it.
So that's why Esau using that word, because if you stick to your roots, you're against his image.
Right.
So you're radical.
Right.
And they're able to use that word and put a whole labeling on it to accuse people. Go ahead.
Verse 9. Who shall be punished with everlasting destruction from the presence of the Lord and from the glory of his power. Right. So back to the mark. If you take that mark, man. See, wrestling with us is believe, get in order. Figure out where the door is at, because there's only one door, and that door is Yahushua. There's only one doctrine that you can believe in to have access to that door. You got to have faith to go through that door. Okay? You got to follow the prophets, the counsel of Yahweh Bashim Yahushua on the earth. That's what it talks about in Proverbs chapter 1. Choose to fear the Lord. Right? But you hated knowledge and wisdom. So, there you go.
All right, man. So with that, we'll give all praises to the Heavenly Father.
Yahweh Ba'Hashem, Yahweh Shai Ba'Hashem, Rakam
Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, the elders at Great Millstone. Peace and salutations to the elect. Shalom.
Shalom.